Good afternoon. Thanks for checking out my channel. This is my second video for today. I will say again that I am in the middle of some cold sinus issue. So, if I sound kind of like a frog, croaky, or whatever, that's the reason. So, it's like right now. Title of this video: Why can't many people afford a house or even rent? A study reveals the reasons. I saw a study in 2023, July 2023, and I want to share with you. I heard it on a podcast at the time that I was listening to. And she's talking about today's minimum wages and the cost of the average 2-bedroom apartments in each state. And I just throw some states out there for you to get an idea. So, what's the minimum wage in the states? So I have a few mentioned here. Let's see. We have... Okay. So I'm going to give you the minimum wage of these states, and then I'm going to share the average median income of 50% of households in their area. And then I'll end with the minimum amount of income you must make in order to afford a 2-bedroom apartment in said state. Okay, so these are 2023 numbers. That's what I have right now. So in my state, Colorado, in 2023, the minimum wage was $13.65 an hour. The median income of 50% of the households was $1,452 a month. Income in order to afford a 2-bedroom apartment, this is fair market value, you have to make $32.13 an hour. New Jersey, minimum wage is $14.13 an hour. Median income of 50% of the household, $1,545 a month. Income in order to afford a 2-bedroom apartment fair market value, $33.50 an hour. So let's go to the south, Louisiana. Louisiana minimum wage is still $7.25 an hour. Median income of 50% of households, $945 a month. Income in order to afford a 2-bedroom apartment, $19.39 an hour. Texas, minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. Median income of 50% of the households, $1,150 a month. Income in order to afford a 2-bedroom apartment, $25.06 an hour. Washington State, minimum wage, $15.74 an hour. Median income of 50% of households, $1,486 a month. Income in order to afford a 2-bedroom apartment, $36.33 an hour. New York, minimum wage, $14.20 an hour. Median income of 50% of household, $1,331 a month. Income in order to afford a 2-bedroom apartment, $40.08 an hour. Pennsylvania, minimum wage, $7.25 an hour. Median income of 50% of households, $1,255 an hour a month. Income in order to afford a 2-bedroom apartment, $23.61 an hour. Missouri, minimum wage, $12 an hour. Median income of 50% of households, $1,140 a month. Income in order to afford a 2-bedroom apartment, $18.54 an hour. California, minimum wage, $15.50 an hour. Minimum income of 50% of household, $1,429 a month. Income in order to afford a 2-bedroom apartment, $42.25 an hour. I don't know anybody that makes that kind of money, but again, I'm not in the field that probably would have that kind of income. I'm sure there's some that are making that, but I would say like at least half the country, as I said, is you see what they're making. Half the country is making hardly anything. And if you're interested in this report, it was at Out of Reach 2023, the High Cost of Housing, National Low Income Housing Coalition. That's where you can get that from. So, if we were keeping up with cost of living, okay, we would all be at a baseline of about $22 an hour. Because you see, wages stagnated in the 70s. And it just hasn't kept up. The cost of living has not kept up. Your wages have not kept up with cost of living. And the way I understood it was the wages were a little bit higher than cost of living, in the 50s, 60s, and then part of the 70s. And then it started to stagnate. And then the companies, the CEO companies, the CEOs of companies, they were getting, a lot more money than the CEO's employees. And that just has become a problem. So what are we going to do? What's the next Trump administration going to be doing about that? I know that Republicans are not for changing minimum wage. They're not for that. So I'm thinking Trump's answer was, bringing back manufacturing jobs, creating more jobs here. Cutting spending, cutting military defense spending, cutting, stopping the wars, tariffs, a way that we can have more money for the American people. Well, I'm all for that, of course. And, I'm just hoping this alleviates this particular problem. Also, he wants to have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security. So all those things are beneficial to the average worker. I'm hoping for the best on this. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you, just so you had an idea why some people have been struggling. Like 50% of the population, some say up to 60% or more, are in this position. So why we can't have houses on our own? Why for more than one person has to buy a house together? So like family comes together, they have to live with the grown kids now have to live with their parents to afford a house, a mortgage. And that's my position. Of course, I'm a single mom now, so I have my income, I have my younger son's income, and then my son's friend's income. And that's how we're paying for the mortgage. And as I said, my son's friend, Alex, he's out of a job right now, but he does have an interview December 9th. I would appreciate your prayers for his job. that he can get this job. It would be very helpful. And so just wanted to share that with you. Mull over that in your head. It's kind of shocking, these numbers, but that's been reality for quite a while, and it's important to know that. So I shared that with you. I have other videos coming up later. Until next time.